Students, hope you have read the pages of your chapter 2nd that I have sent you, and now I am going to tell you the important questions that we can make from these pages. The first page, making of the Indian Constitution. The question that you can make from the first paragraph: what were the situations that Indian faced while making the Constitution? You will write down about the conditions from the country was born through a partition on the basis of religious difference. This was traumatic experience for people of India and Pakistan. And next, 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of border in partition related violence. There was the another problem that British had left it to rules of the princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or Pakistan or remain independent. The merge of these princely states was a difficult and uncertain task when the constitution was being written. The future of the country did not look secure as it does today. The makers of the constitution had an anxious about the present and the future of country. Okay. And the second question that you can write down: how the Indian Constitution got its path. The answer you can start: it got its path from Motilal Nehru. And you can start: in 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 Congress leaders drafted a constitution for India. In 1931, the resolution at Karachi session of Indian National Congress devolved on how independent India's constitution should look like. Both these documents were committed to inclusion of universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, to protecting the right of minorities in the constitution, of independent India. Okay, and the next question: how the Indian Constitution introduced the institutions. Introduced about the institutions. You can write down elections were held in 1937 to provincial legislatures and ministries all over British India. These were not fully democratic government but the experience gained by the Indians in working of the legislative institutions proved to be very useful for the country in setting up its own institutions. And the next page, as you have read, Constituent Assembly. How the India made its Constituent Assembly. First of all, you should be clear about the Constituent Assembly. For the question, what do you mean by the Constituent Assembly? What is the Constituent Assembly? You can write down an assembly of elected representatives called Constituent Assembly. Okay. And the next, write briefly about the Indian Constituent Assembly. Okay. The Constituent Assembly of India that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949, but it come into effect on 26 January 1950. To make this day, we celebrate 26 January as the Republic Day every year. And the question of multiple choice can be arised: how many members were there in the Constituent Assembly? That were 299. And when the Constitution was adopted, it was adopted on 26 November 1949. And when it come into force or it come into effect on 26 January 1950. Okay, and how we celebrate the 26th January as a Republic Day? Because on this day our Constitution come into effect. Okay. And the next question that you can write here, some of the important personalities are given. You can write down about these. The questions can be arised related to these personalities. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was born in Bihar, president of Constituent Assembly. He was a lawyer and known for his role in the Champaran Satyagrah. And he was the three-time president. He had been the three times president of Congress. Later the first president of India. These all can be arise the questions regarding Rajendra Prasad, who was the first president of India and where he won He is president of Constituent Assembly. Okay, and next, Pal Singh. Pal Singh, born in Jharkhand. He was a sportsman and educationist, captain of first national hockey team. Who was the first hockey team's captain? That was Pal Singh. Okay, and he was also the president of Adivasi Mahasabha. Who was the president of Adivasi Mahasabha? Pal Singh. And the founder of Jharkhand Party. Who was the founder of Jharkhand Party? And the next, H.C. Mukherjee. He was born in Bengal. Vice chairman of the Constituent Assembly. Who was the vice chairman of Constituent Assembly? H.C. Mukherjee. Okay. And he was also the member of All India Christian Council. Who was the member of All India Christian Council? That was also H.C. Mukherjee. Okay. And Governor of West Bengal, H.C. Mukherjee. And the next page, Durgabai Deshmukh. Durgabai Deshmukh, born in Andhra Pradesh. She was an advocate and public activist for women's emancipation. Emancipation means rights. Okay. Founder of Andhra Pradesh Sabha Congress leader. Andhra Mahila Sabha. Sorry, it's Andhra Mahila Sabha. Founder of Andhra Mahila Sabha and founder and chairperson of Central Social Welfare Board. Okay, these all important informations you would write down in your notebook. And the next, Baldev Singh. He was from Haryana, a successful entrepreneur and leader of the Panthik Akali Party in the Punjab. He was the leader of Panthik Akali Party. The question can be raised, who was the leader of Panthik Akali Party in Punjab? That was Baldev Singh. Okay, he was the nominee of Congress in the Constituent Assembly and the defense minister in the Union Cabinet. Who was the defense minister in Union Cabinet? Okay, that was Baldev Singh. And next, that you can write down. Who prepared the draft of Indian Constitution? You can write down Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussions took place on draft constitution clause by clause. Okay, and the members you can also write down more than 2000 amendments were considered. The members deliberated for 114 days spread over 3 years. Okay, every document represent and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. These are called the Constituent Assembly debates. And here the question can be arised, what are the Constituent Assembly debates? Every document present and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. These are called the Constituent Assembly debates. Okay? When printed, these debates are, you can say how many debates are these. These are 12 bulky volumes. Okay? What is the use of these volumes? These are used to interpret the meaning of Constitution. Okay? And the next, guiding value of the Indian Constitution. Guiding value that you can underline. You may notice name missing from the sketch of the maker of Constitution, Mahatma Gandhi. You can underline Mahatma Gandhi. He was not a member of Constituent Assembly, yet there were many members who followed his vision years ago. Writing in his magazine Young India in 1931, he had spelled out what he wanted the Constitution to do. Okay? So, our Constitution is the dream and promise of Mahatma Gandhi that he published in 1931 in his magazine Young India. Okay, and this is sufficient for today's students. If there is any query or any doubt, you can call me at my personal number. Okay.